Greetings, my beautiful friends. Today's message is don't give up. Do not give up. Stay focused. And if you fall down or lay down for a while, that's okay because you will never lose that which you are meant to be and do and what you are. You will never lose that opportunity. It will come back around again, I promise. That's why you came here, to do these things, to acquire that desire. Okay, my name is Elasa Tina Marie, and I'm your soul coach. And today's message is all about not giving up. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so I want to show you just an image that keeps coming in my mind, which, here you are, this eternal soul that has dropped down in a body again, chosen to be here, wants to live out your path. So you literally, this is your desire. It is sitting in the back of your mind. It is your future. So your future essentially is behind you, and it's working its way to come through you. Okay? And so your desire, your goal, the things you have affinity to do, the things you're really good at, the life you want to live, how you want to be wealthy, healthy, successful, confident, loved, and adored. It's all here in you. You just need to remember and embody it. And because you may have lessons, we'll put lessons in a different color. Because you may have incarnated with different lessons, ancestral, societal, your individual soul's makeup, things that you may call hurdles or obstacles, these obstacles will make you stronger. So when you come barreling through the reality and you so-called, hit a brick wall, well, now we'll turn it to a brick wall, and it lays you down because there was so much akash, there was so much ether, there were so much records, so much light information was held in that experience because maybe it was something that was going to take some effort. Maybe it was something that was going to literally require you to believe wholeheartedly in your abilities of everything is possible and that you are an eternal soul, capable of everything. You are a droplet of God, God's source, goddess, and you came to remember that and be a creator, to create that which is coming through you, these desires, these inventions, things that, seem unheard of, and the outer circumstances of your life tell you there's no way this is going to happen, it's impossible. Those are possibly, some of your obstacles. It's the people in your life, who may be like, no, you can't do that, you're not good enough. And really, essentially, you have memorized them in that way. The true soul they are believes in you because they are part of you. They are also part of that God source. But the version of them that you may have memorized and pigeonholed yourself in remembering them to be, telling you can't do something, really is not their true self, their true soul. But it's a memorized version, which is why you may need to challenge that. And only thing to fear is fear itself. You may need to go into that fear of addressing that person or, telling that person your desire, and then let them say yes. Imagine them saying yes before you go talk to them. Really pull in the soul that they are through soul counsel before you communicate to them in the so-called person, in the 3D. Do some pre-meditation exercises. So my vision that I kept getting was to, even if you come up to these obstacles, these layers in the field, and it seems like, there's another one that just comes up. And, it's such a big change in your older version of yourself. So this is, the older version obstacle, the old identity. And when that old identity layer, you come barreling up, fully remembering who you are, you had great rising practices of self-love affirmations, you did some breath work, you exercised, you told yourself how amazing you are in the mirror, and you're ready to be this new self. You are embodying this new self now, but yet you come up to the memorized old version persona that maybe someone says, "Hey, I know who you are. You're not that person. You're the person I knew yesterday that was, incapable of that or lacked the self-confidence." And they may challenge you with the memorized identity of the old version of you, or you literally may come up against a layer in your aura that says old identity. And so it may feel like what I call threshold, of like you just hit a threshold, you hit a wall, and it's like where your old version self and your new self or the concept of self are colliding. Those realities, those universes are coming up head to head and they're colliding against each other. And so you have to realize that when you have for years thought the same thoughts, you're going to possibly have to break through, transcend, transfigure, transmute, and literally show up to that old version reality that is in the field and burst through it and say, nope, I'm not going to pay attention to this outer circumstance right now. I know this is possible, and I'm going to break through this and dissolve, dismantle this old version identity reality construct that is literally showing itself to me, whether it's from another person, from an experience, you name it. When you go to grow, when your field begins to expand, when you fully embody this next version of yourself, you're going to find sometimes these threshold old version selves, reality constructs will reveal themselves because it's an echo of the past. It's in the cycle of biofeedback to project back to you a mirror of possibly something still left in the subconscious mind of the fascia, of your skin, of your muscles, of the brain, of the gut mind, of the heart mind, of a wound. It still is memorized possibly in there, and you're going to need to go ahead and use that information, the biofeedback, the information of the so-called obstacle or threshold or old version reality that just showed itself, like it came out of nowhere, and literally say within yourself a command: clear, cancel, delete. And I now embody the confidence. I know that this invention is going to work today. I know that this goal that I've had is happening. I may not see it right now, but I know it is happening. And so you have to pay no attention, like Neville Goddard says, to pay no attention to the outer circumstances. Those echoes of the past in the ether are just an echo. You have to then keep persevering, keep going, keep showing up. If you know you have a desire, a burning desire, you have decided, meaning you cut off all other options, you have chosen and decided to move forward on this. And you know by a definitive date, so this is the next download. I'm actually reading Think and Grow Rich finally. It's always been on one of those books that people have told me about by Napoleon Hill. And like him and the guy who introduced this to me, Bob Proctor, this book reminds you to take a note card and literally write down your goal and carry that in your purse, carry that in your wallet, carry that in your pocket, in your car visor, and write that goal with a definitive amount if you're doing money, or the details of what it is your goal is. Get very detailed, precise, so the universe can deliver that. Choose a date. And if you don't want to just like pick a random date, you might muscle test or use a pendulum to find what is the date to put on that card. So you're going to put, if you're doing a money amount, a firm amount, or if it's a goal, what those parameters of that goal is. Be very precise. A time, a date that you muscle test and find out that's when it's supposed to happen by. So you know it. You can see it behind your eyes. You can see it deep and back and behind your brain. Like you feel the embodiment of this goal already happening. It's already occurred. You're just, again, letting this move. This is the goal or the desire. It's going to move up and literally rotate and project and stack up itself right in front of you. It will. It has to. It's already there. Everything has already been created. The creation is finished. You're just lining up and choosing and deciding and being on focus, on purpose. Where your focus is where the energy goes. And so on that card, again, the exact amount, exact time, or the exact details. And I have now acquired this, completed this. This is now happening. Write it on that note card, speak it in the present, look at it morning and night when you go to sleep, when you get up in the rising, carry it with you, look at it every so often. I have mine in my purse. And when that happens, then you can move on to another note card, okay? So I highly suggest Think and Grow Rich. He, like Bob Proctor, the author, Napoleon Hill, reminds you to read just a couple pages a day. It's not like a book to just like rush through. You want to like digest the material. It tells about 500 successful men. I don't necessarily, maybe there's some women in there. I'm not finished with the book, but 500 successful men that he studied on how they thought and grew rich. And they all didn't pay attention to the outer circumstances. They had a burning desire. They knew with all their heart that they were going to do this thing. Talks about Barnes, who wanted to work for Edison, or not work for him. He wanted to be partner with Thomas Edison, who developed the light bulb. And he just knew that he was going to be partner. And so he went and got a job, and he wasn't immediately rushed in to be a partner. He got just a regular, very low paying job for Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison had a new invention. I think it was the Epiphone or epigraph. And all of his investors and all of his colleagues didn't really go for it. They thought it was going to be hard to market, hard to get out there. But Barnes knew that this was his opportunity. He was going to sell those for him. And so he volunteered, look, I'll put all that I've got, all my effort into selling these. And sure enough, he did. And then he became partner with Edison. He chose, more so, he decided. He had a burning knowing, burning desire, a burning passion to move forward. And that's how pretty much all these stories are. These men knew what they wanted, and then they barreled through those thresholds, those so-called failures. The failures just give you biofeedback, information to tell you what you need to tweak, whether it's a belief system, whether it's a false belief system, you delete it, it's no longer serving you. Or they tell you that somewhere you have lessons to learn, and that every time you get the greater understanding and you learn these lessons, these go away. All these what were seemingly obstacles were actually feedback to perfect and rise your tide, rise your frequency in hertz, rise your belief in yourself, rise your confidence, and then eventually that desire literally becomes the reality. If it's a certain amount of money, the money shows up. Sometimes it just shows up and you didn't have to actually do anything, although I want to talk about that one more second. Sometimes it shows up, it's the house, it's gifted to you, or you buy it because you have the money. You're becoming really, your energy is focused, your creations are becoming successful, momentum is building. So one more thing that, before we complete this, that Napoleon Hill said on that exercise of the note card is, what are you going to give? So, to receive this goal, this actualized desire, what do you have plans to give? Are you going to give your effort, your talents, your gifts? Are you going to really go for this every day? Like, put in what you're actually going to be giving back. And that creates that equal energy exchange, and really also builds your frequency, builds your momentum to bringing it in to the here and now. So I hope this helps you. May you all have a magical day, and thank you so much for subscribing, for leaving a comment below. Anything about this? Have you read Napoleon Hill? Let me know. Think and Grow Rich, and share this video. Thank you. Have a magical day.